Right. My speech, the thesis of my speech is basically that I feel the negative image associated with the country of Iran is partially incorrect and unrepresentative of the true country. I'm actually half Iranian myself. Although kind of all my life I've been out of the loop of Iranian culture because I grew up in Scotland, I've been to Iran once before, and upon my visit there, I was just amazed about how wrong my preconceived notions of the country were. I'm aware that last year there was a lot of protests and violent demonstrations with regards to the election, the Ahmadinejad regained his presidency because it was a blatantly rigged election. But I feel that sort of the political and governmental issues that shroud the country kind of cast a dark shadow over its rich history and rich past. Iran is actually a relatively new name that was given to the country. That name was given to Iran was given to the. It was called Iran in 1935 as more of a political. It was used in a more political context. Before then, I think as far back as 4000 BC, it was known as the Empire of Persia. And if you just type in Persia in the National Geographic search engine, or if you just read an article that any sort of historian or archaeologist will write about Persia, you'll find that they'll have nothing but good things to say about the empire. They were a civilization rich in education. They had many scholars in the fields of astrology, physics, mathematics, and various other sciences. And they were so technologically advanced for their time that many historians also believe that they were sort of the trailblazers for modern technologies to even sort of end up to where they are today. So I feel they've received kind of a lot of bad press for things that really aren't representative of the country, because the government is horribly corrupted. Also, Iranians, if you actually go to Iran, or there's actually a lot of Persian, well, Iranians will tend to call themselves Persians over here in California. So they're the same thing. It's they're used interchangeably, although Persian, the term Persian usually pertains to the cultural aspect of it. And the cultural aspect of Iran is something that the people have held with them throughout the whole life. It's kind of, for them, it's a way of representing, again, the rich history that the Empire of Persia had as opposed to the Islamic Republic of Iran. And you find that that culture is one of hospitable nature. You'll find that they're contrary to what people think. People think that the Middle East is kind of a place where people walk around with AK-47s slung over their shoulders, riding on camels, yelling "Death to America," and it's really anything but. You know, when I was over there, I found that the people actually liked Americans, they liked the British, they liked anyone from Europe, and I found that a lot of them spoke really, really good English. It was frightening how well they spoke English. Like they were asking me questions about like basketball. They were asking me like questions about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dennis Rodman, funnily enough. At the time I was living in Europe, I didn't know anything about basketball, but they were even asking me questions about the Backstreet Boys and stuff like that, which is kind of frightening. Anyhow, basically, I was guilty of having preconceived notions of Iran as being this war zone and hostile place. You know, I was kind of fearful as I was going over there because I went in 2005, and in 2005 there was a lot of heat over in that region with Afghanistan and Iraq, their neighbors. So I was kind of fearful flying over there on a British passport. I thought I'd probably get shot at passport control or something like that. But I was completely wrong. And Iran is actually one of the most spectacular places I've ever seen. So that's that.